we have, I would play a trumpet fanfare if I had a trumpet fanfare, but it is time to go to, I believe, Columbus, Ohio. And if I had a drum roll, I would do a drum roll. But we are joined for the first time ever here on the program by the star of Stage, Screen, and WBD Sports. We're bringing in Melissa Ortiz.
What's up, Don?
Melissa, it is John and Jarrett. Thanks for coming on the morning show. You've made it through your morning shoot.
I did. I'm still sweaty. I'm in my workout clothes. Did a workout with Julie Foudy this morning.
Oh.
We also shot stuff with US Soccer, so cool content coming soon. But yeah, here we are, ready, excited to take the day because today's a big day, the final of SheBelievesCup.
Yep, and so we'll discuss this. Since you've already gone ahead and breached the topic, who won the workout, you or Foudy?
You can't. You did. I'm gonna say Foudy. She's
what?
The GOAT. She's the GOAT.
Okay. All right.
It was good. We did a strength workout, a 20-minute strength workout in the gym, some weights, and then we did a 20-minute run afterwards too. Yeah, it's amazing. It's funny because the first time I started working out with her, in one of our first Warner Brother broadcasting trips, we went to an Orange Theory class, and I'm right next to her on the treadmill, and it Little Melly popped in my head, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm running next to Julie Foudy, and I'm like, there's no way I could lose to her.
Well, and so since we have no video evidence of you losing in the workout to Julie Foudy, if there's no video, it didn't happen, right?
That's true. But hopefully you'll see some video. You'll see it.
Okay, and we'll talk about She Believes, and we'll talk about a little show that you're hosting as well. Yes, proper hydration is also good. We believe in proper hydration when we're doing the segments here in the morning.
Coffee is the hydration.
Always. Yes, and
I have a coffee company, so we gotta hydrate well.
Well, and I mean, since you brought it up, we'll go ahead and say it right here. Our opening kickoff. Ding, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com.
Love it. Thank you.
So there's always the circular stuff here. But we do want to talk about this show that you're hosting because, we have seen the video of Melissa hosting a show on Max and on True about U.S. soccer stories. Great, really cool idea that I want to get into. But let's talk She Believes.
Okay.
And now that you've had a couple days, and this is what I ask most of our authority figures when they come in, you've had a couple days to digest what happened in the matches on the weekend. Now that you've had a couple days to kind of let it sink in, what are your thoughts? And is there anything that's lingered in your brain ever since you stepped away from those first two matches this past weekend?
I think, I don't think you could talk about the performance of the U.S. without acknowledging the fact that they really came together after fumbling that goal. They were conceded on in the first 30 seconds by Japan in the first game. So when you're in a packed stadium with 50,000 fans, it went dead silent in there in 30 seconds after kickoff. And, they were losing 1-0. And we got to speak to some of the players yesterday. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was, we asked them, what was it like? You get conceded on in the first 30 seconds of that match. And they were all on the same page. We were at least grateful it happened in the first 30 seconds because Jenna Neiswanger said then that meant that we had 89 minutes and 30 seconds to come back. So it's better to get conceded on early than later on in the match. And even Tierna Davidson went on to say that she felt like the team didn't panic. They felt a sense of calmness, and they were just like, we got this. It's okay, and that's a lot to, especially coming from a player like Jenna, who is fairly new to the U.S. Women's National Team on a more consistent basis. I know Tierna has been in and out, but she came back from injury last year, and it's just great to see their presence, their confidence, given the fact that they're not, the long vets on this team. That's one of the things that stuck out to me because the way that they were able to come back against Japan, played a really good match afterwards. I think Lindsey Horan just keeps shining and just proving that she's the captain and the leader of this team. I believe it's 3 goals in 4 matches, and those 3 goals are game winners. And she comes in clutch at the times that the team needs someone to come in clutch. So that's my takeaway from the U.S. and I loved seeing Mallory Swanson back. I was excited. I was so excited for that. And I know, she didn't score, but you could see just with her movement, her presence, her vision. She was much missed last year, but I could so see her just doing incredible things this year and hopefully at the Olympics.
Jared Smith from Melissa Ortiz, go.
I kind of want to build off what you're talking about with the U.S. team, especially after the World Cup and then conceding in those first 30 seconds. It is a younger team. How tough is it to build that kind of mental fortitude to be able to handle those tough moments when you're young and you might not be used to getting punched in the face as consistently?
I love that question because it's actually a question I've asked some of the players too in our more private or individual pressers. And for these young players, they go into an environment, and this environment is already established to be winners. And I think that over the course of time, through the transition of coaches, transition of environment, players, maybe perhaps there was a short lapse, especially last year during the Olympics. Like during the Women's World Cup, it was a complicated time. But as of recent, and like we talked to even Jenna about this, Sam Coffey about this, and they both are like, being with these players on this team really just like imprints in us that we are here to win. And the one word that they all keep saying too is resilience. And it's the resilience that you saw from the team in the Gold Cup just last month, where they beat Canada on PKs. They were down, and then they went on to beat Brazil in the final, and Lindsey Horan scored that game winner. And again, like against the first game of the SheBelievesCup game against Japan, it's the resilience showed again. They're down one, and they came back to win it. And so I just think that for these younger players, I know it's a young mix, something that maybe we're not really used to seeing on this U.S. women's national team. The other day, Julie Ertz was with us on our broadcasting crew, and she said, when I got into the team, I was kind of like one of the only young ones in. I was like, the rookie coming in, and it was a hard transition because like you're dealing with all of these like vets and legends at the same time. And she's like, it was definitely harder, but now you're having this whole onboarding process that Twyla Kilgore and the U.S. soccer staff are doing for these young players, so that it makes it more, how do you say, like, it's not as shocking for you as a young player to all of a sudden get in on this U.S. women's national team squad. I will not say it's easier for them, but it's almost like they are trying to set them up for success, giving them that onboarding process and everything in the toolbox so that in the moment that they get on that pitch to help the team win, they're ready for it. And that's what I've loved learning about the process of this U.S. women's national team, and specifically, the players that got called into this camp and that are also playing in the SheBelievesCup.
Well, and you were running into a situation with the women's national team where you had the veterans and the veterans and the veterans, and the world was catching up because, Mother Nature and Father Time are the only two folks that are undefeated. Mm-hmm. And you got all these older players, and everyone's wondering, okay, when are we transitioning to the younger players? And you're in that catch-22 of, well, we need to win this competition, so we're going to rely on our older players. The younger players don't get that chance. Now you're starting to get that transition where you do have Alex Morgan, but she's playing a different role, and she's there to help guide things along with this wave of younger players that are there now for the women's national team. It's a delicate balance that you've got to ride here with the U.S.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned Alex Morgan because, as a soccer player, as an athlete, you sometimes your purpose or your role, it changes over the course of time. And being she's one of the vets on this team, we asked Twyla how has she seen, Alex Morgan in her role, especially, this last month or so from Gold Cup to now. And she's like, she has proven herself time and time again, like why she's on this team, her leadership, both on and off the pitch. But we've always known Alex Morgan as the goal scorer, right? And maybe that's why a lot of the press is saying like, okay, Alex Morgan. But actually Alex Morgan is doing the most work right now defensively. And that is one of the reasons why they won the Gold Cup, is because her presence was the defensive work that she showed. And likewise the other night against Japan, the other day against Japan. So I think, moving forward, it's just, as you continue to grow, especially in a team that's so young now, it's now up to her to just be that player that the young ones can lean on. She's going to show and keep on paving the road for, the other young ones to come in and make a mark, whether it's Jaden Shaw, who I know either is in the 7-11 or in the 10 like the other day. It's finding that solid 9, to fulfill potentially Alex's role at some point. But for now, I think defensively, Alex has really shown some great work rate, specifically defensively and in her hold-up play.
Jarrett for Melissa Ortiz, another handful of minutes. Go.
So one of the things I actually wanted to ask you about is in relation to the semifinals. We saw Brazil against Canada, and we know some of the bigger stars for Brazil are reaching the end of their time with the national team. I want to ask about the rest of CONMEBOL, though, because of the history in Colombia and the growth of the game there, the growth of the game in Argentina on the women's side. How much of an opportunity is this for the other countries in CONMEBOL to kind of fill some of that gap that Brazil might leave open?
Yeah, I love that question because, and John, you mentioned it too a little bit just about the U.S. and how like other countries are catching up to the U.S. women's national team, and we saw it in the Women's World Cup over the summer. And I think the potential for growth out of CONMEBOL is going to be absolutely insane. And we already see it from the youth teams up. Colombia was runner-up in, I believe it was the U17 Women's World Cup, was it last year, the year before? And then they did really well in the U20 Women's World Cup. They just qualified last week to the U17 Women's World Cup, where they were second. They were runner-up to Brazil, but it wasn't by much. And I think it was always focused just on Brazil usually when we spoke about CONMEBOL, but now we're seeing obviously Colombia coming off an incredible Women's World Cup, the best performance ever in our history. We're seeing part of our Colombian national team players, young players like Linda Caicedo play at Real Madrid, Ana Maria Guzman plays at Bayern Munich. We're going to continue to see some of these young players get signed to big clubs. Now we're seeing Lacey Santos, who plays right now at Atlético de Madrid. She just got signed to the Washington Spirit. She'll be joining the team in August. Alexa Barr right now plays for Racing Louisville. So Mayra Ramirez is now playing at Chelsea. Like, it could go on and on because the excitement that it gives me, given the fact that all these players are playing at big clubs now. So if I speak about Colombia and the potential that we as a team or as a country, and I say we because of course I represented the country for so many years, it's so incredible to witness it. And then Argentina, like you mentioned, has some really great players, I think, coming in formation. Chile, they went off the grid a little bit after having a good run after qualifying to the Olympics, but now I think they're gonna it part of like their whole governmental system and backing and support of women's soccer and the growth. I think we're gonna see more out of there as well. Likewise, Venezuela. So yeah, I think out of CONMEBOL, like we've seen in other confederations, we're gonna see a big growth of women's football out of these teams, and I'm so pumped. Like this is like a dream that I've always wanted to happen.
Well, and another one, and this is where we transition into that whole hosting thing with the TV show that is now out. U.S. Soccer Stories, first edition's came out this past weekend on True and Max. You got to catch up with Naomi Girma and do a really cool story on the extended national teams. For those who haven't had the chance to look at U.S. Soccer Stories, break it down for us, hit the promo button, and let everybody know what's going on, because to be able to spend some time and build out some stories, a very, very cool experience, and you're at the front of the spear.
Yeah, I'm so honored and blessed to host this show. It's going to air every Friday of this month of April at 7 p.m. So we're on prime time on True TV. And then likewise, I believe in June, we're going to do again Fridays. And I have to give major credit to the producers behind this. A lot of work goes behind into producing this type of content. And the stories that we're about to capture, I think, is everything that a U.S. soccer fan wants to learn about the crest that they're supporting day in and day out. And it's not just about the U.S. women's national team, not just about the U.S. men's national team. We love them. We know it. but it's also highlighting the stories of the extended national teams. And that can include, from beach soccer to the other ones, or the athletes that have cerebral palsy. And I feel like we are serving our purpose in highlighting all of the extended national teams, youth national teams, and of course the men's and women's national teams, and telling the stories behind the athletes that play for the team. So, we get into what does the day in the life look like for them? What are some up and downs look like? The challenges that they've had to go through, whether it's a loss of a family member to having a baby to you name it, injuries, etc. So to tell these stories and show the behind the scenes of these U.S. soccer athletes, it's honestly like really great, but also I just think beneficial for the growth of soccer as well. And then from my perspective, like when it was offered to me, it's a dream come true. I've always wanted to host a show, but also I'm like, it's about U.S. soccer, and I'm a Latina, and I played for Colombia, but I was born in the USA. I just think life for me has come full circle, and I'm so grateful to be like the voice of this and to open up this pathway, especially for the Latinas that look up to me in this whole football world. So yeah, it's exciting. I love it. The studio is beautiful. I walk in there every show day, and I'm like, man, I'm blessed.
Very cool. She Believes tonight. It's we're under 8 hours now officially before it goes, and I know that you're kind of slightly busy when it comes to that. So let me get this straight. Yeah. So hosting U.S. Soccer Stories, you bettered Julie Foudy in an early morning workout.
I did not say that.
Hey, until the tape comes out, that's the story that we're going with. And yes. So host of U.S. Soccer Stories on True, and it rolls to Max. She Believes tonight conquered Julie Foudy in a workout, and now golden ticket holder status here on SDH. That means that you can basically text me on my phone during the morning show, hey, I have something to get off my chest. Let me in, and you can bang on the door anytime and let everybody know what's on your mind. Melissa, thanks for joining us from Columbus, Ohio. Getting ready for She Believes tonight, U.S. and Canada. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a little coffee cheers. Enjoy your coffee. Kick off coffee, too.
Yes. See, there you go. Ever the boss. She understands. So I guess, let me see. Wait, let me find it real quick. There we go. There's your QR code.
Get that kickoff coffee. We donate to soccer foundations around the world with each cup that you drink. So
there you go. So that's the QR code. Go for it, Melissa. Have a great broadcast. Everything. We'll catch up with you soon. All right.
Thank you.